Antes de comenzar el episodio, déjenme contarles de nuestro patrocinador Drink Element, que es una bebida de electrolitos que nace de la necesidad de encontrar un producto que llene nuestros requerimientos de hidratación, sin el azúcar, los colorantes y los ingredientes de relleno que normalmente encontramos en las bebidas deportivas. Drink Element está cuidadosamente formulado para proporcionarte un balance perfecto de electrolitos que te va a ayudar a tener un desempeño óptimo en tu actividad física, evitar calambres musculares, el salto del ojo, la taquicardia, la moridera y el apelotardamiento causado por la falta de hidratación o por los niveles insuficientes de sodio, potasio y magnesio que pueden ocurrir de manera natural durante el ejercicio, el consumo de café o el exceso de felicidad por el alcohol. Especial para todos aquellos que hagan una dieta baja en carbohidratos, están endulzados con stevia y tienen un rango de sabores espectaculares como naranja, frambuesa y mango chili, entre otros. Su presentación en sobres individuales los hace ideales para viajar. Solo necesitas una botella de agua y un sobrecito de sales de Element para tener todas las bondades físicas y mentales de un balance perfecto de electrolitos. En un estudio realizado por mí, se encontró que Drink Element es crucial para el manejo de la resaca y el sentimiento de miseria absoluta ocasionado por la deshidratación postchurria. Además de proporcionarme claridad mental y darme el impulso que necesito, tengo que concentrarme en tareas que requieren de toda mi atención. Si quieres ordenar Drink Element y averiguar qué significa esto de la deshidratación postchurria, vete para las notas del episodio y haz clic en el link para hacer tu pedido y a la vez apoyar mi trabajo. Pégale a la sal y disfruta del episodio.
I want to know. I mean, like, of course, I am 40. I am not that old. I'm not spring chicken, but I'm not that old. But I have seen in many of my ladies in my life that after menopause hits, I'm like you start having problems with horrible, scary things like bone loss or muscle loss. I mean, muscle loss is not seen as so tragic, but bone loss is a big deal. Can you tell us why that's more like evident with women than with men?
So I suspect like everything that's, I mean, apart from nutrition and training, obviously the more you age, the more disease risk you have, mortality risk goes up and all of that. That is a given, that's just affect life. But what we can actually do is we can do so much protective, how should I frame this? With nutrition and proper training and staying active, we really underestimate how much we can change our environment, our internal environment. So I suspect like there's a big behavioral component to if women stay home when they're like older and men are maybe still active with their work. So not to be prejudiced in that area. Like, no, but like it's really easy to get like, oh yeah, you're saying every mom stays at home. No, it's like
that's super sexist.
That's super sexist, yeah. But no, it's like the more active you can stay, like healthily active, not just beating yourself down, the better chance you have of like also maintaining your bone mass. We know that muscle mass is very plastic, so you can gain muscle, lose muscle. But if you do, for example, intense training, if you're very active, also your bones adapt a little bit. So your bone thickness will increase and will stay healthy. And if you combine that with a healthy diet, with enough protein, enough calcium, enough micronutrients, then you can do a whole lot for yourself.
We talked about a little, I mean, last time that we talked a little bit about, I mean, like what kind of behaviors like play pretty much against everybody, but mostly, I mean, like, especially against women. For in my case, and I'm not saying that every woman is like me, but in my case, I'm very sedentary. I don't like moving. I don't even like to leave the house. If I didn't know that I have to, I would never. I would never leave the house. And it's like my natural state is to want to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable and I want to be left alone. For me, exercising is a task. As much as I do it, exercising is a freaking task. And the thing is that as much as I like to, I don't like it. I know exactly how much I need it for my integral health, because I have a condition and I got a herniated disc and I have to take care of myself. However, not everybody has the same urgency, and because women tend to be a little more averse to very physical activity, I mean, like very harsh physical activity, we have seen the rise of not so harsh more women-like
Yeah.
kind of activity. And I am not shitting on people doing yoga, and I'm not shitting on people doing Zumba. If that's what you like to do, that's great. But Thomas, is that enough?
So yeah, that's a good question. Starting, I would say doing any activity is better than doing no activity. So if you can be active, for sure. But and I agree with you on that, since human beings are by default trying to save energy or spare their energy and not just move around all day. I mean, there are some people who do that, but most people generally try to avoid spending energy. You would be better off literally focusing 3 or 4 times a week, focusing yourself and trying to get a super intense short workout with a clear focus and a clear, even it's only 30, 45 minutes, with a clear full body strengthening plan, basically. Then you can do so much, and it doesn't feel as effortful if you have a concise plan and do it 3 or 4 times a week. If you think you have to be active all the time and spend a lot of the time moving every day, and you go to this class, and you have to do yoga, you have to do Zumba, you have to do, I don't know, CrossFit, this, CrossFit, that can be very stressful, right? Because it says, yeah, no, I don't want to move, right? I'm not that kind of person. Yeah, sure. But you don't have to be a superstar in all disciplines. You just have to do some basic strengthening movements. You can even do them at home if you have some equipment. It's just about knowing the right movement patterns and then getting the right intensity in there so that your muscles can basically have enough stimulation to either stay or even grow a little bit and keep you healthier over the long run. And intensity is a very key word there, because we know that there needs to be a certain intensity for an exercise to be basically effective, right? For keeping your muscles healthy. And most people forget that element. They just think they need to get a sweat on, or in order to get a good workout, they need to feel exhausted. Like those
you
are
have to suffer.
You know? Exactly. Those are not prerequisites for a good workout.
Yeah.
I mean, they can happen, but a good workout is one that is based in evidence-based principles on working muscles, right? So that's my opinion.
Absolutely. Now there is a prevalent belief, like, Thomas, I don't want to get all muscular. I don't want to get all bulky and muscular. That's why I just do Zumba, because I don't want muscle. It looks horrible. I come on, let it out.
Not everybody likes it, I know.
First of all, bitch, that's not gonna happen overnight. I mean, people have no idea how much work is there behind actually showing muscle. It's a lot of freaking work, and it takes a lot of time. That's not gonna happen like overnight. Oh, son of a bitch, look, I'm over it.
Yeah, I should put a disclaimer on it. If I say muscle training, people always associate the extremes, right? So if I say muscle, people may have an image of a bodybuilder with like huge 300-pound guy in their head. But for a natural training person, it's literally, virtually impossible, first of all, to look like that without the help of additional substances and stuff. So
exactly.
For someone training naturally, you will not look like Arnold overnight. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I mean, it's really, really hard to look like that. Yeah. And I mean, going back to the I don't want to get fat, or I don't want to get bulky, or I don't want to gain volume kind of perspective. How effective is weight training for fat loss?
So why is weight training more effective, for example, than cardio training, especially over the long run? So weight training itself doesn't burn that many calories. So it's not like you train and then you lose a bunch of fat, but you have to see it more as an investment in your metabolic structure, because the more muscle mass you carry, and by muscle mass, people always associate the bulky look, but no, it's like your muscles can get denser, they can have more myofibrils. So basically the whole structure, even though you have the same person from the outside with clothes, one can have twice as much muscle mass, literally. And the more muscle mass you have, the more active your metabolism is going to be, the higher the amount of energy you can basically take in and burn off. So it's basically like a furnace constantly burning calories, and makes it easier to maintain weight. So that's very important. And also, so we know from research that over the long run, people who do mainly strength training, they just stay leaner. You know, And I take that very seriously because that's harsh evidence for that either behaviorally or, it's a better habit to have some basic strength training routines in your weekly structure than, for example, to use a lot of cardio training, which burns a lot of calories, but is for most people just a fixing tool for the short run, right? So they gain a lot of weight and they do a lot of cardio, lose a lot of weight, but then nobody can keep up like hours of cardio, because it is so effortful and it is so exhaustive and so unpleasant that people usually can't keep it up over the long run, right? So you can keep up like 30-minute, 45-minute strength training sessions 3 times a week. Even if you do them lightly, it will help you over the long run, right? So you have to think of it long term.
And I used to be a cardio bunny. I mean, like, and I enjoyed running. I enjoyed it very much, even though that it fucked up my joints and my back horribly.
It's the same experience.
But I used to love it. And but however, even though I used to love it, and there are like lots of benefits to do that kind of activity. For the weight loss company, which was what I was running after. First of all, I was hungry all the time. I was ravenous all the time. And I realized that, and later on, because you become accustomed to the activity, then you don't burn as many calories. So you always need a little more. It's like weed, but miserable.
Absolutely. So the best way I can put it, because we know from research that if you do too much cardio, you might compensate for that extra activity by sitting on your ass all day, all the rest of the day. And you might have burned the same amount of calories if you were just a little bit active all day. So that's one thing. But the other thing is just that I think mindset-wise, you want to generally have the mindset that you go do your sport, your training to strengthen your body, to basically do something for your body and, keep it healthy, keep it fluid, keep it moving, also work it intensely. And basically view that as a body investment, right, as your structure. And you use your diet and diet modifications and lifestyle modifications for fat loss. If you view that you are going to lose fat because of this activity, I think that even is the wrong mindset, because then you're not focusing on the biggest levers, which are actually nutrition, sleep, and lifestyle for fat loss, right? So if you want to lose fat, you better focus on your diet and not try different training modalities. So,
you cannot out exercise a shitty diet. That is for sure. Okay.
Hola, me alegra que hayas llegado hasta este punto del video, espero que hayas disfrutado del episodio y espero también que la información que hayamos compartido contigo sea de alguna utilidad para ti o para la gente que quieres. Por favor, no dudes en compartir este video con cualquier persona que crees que pueda beneficiarse de él. En la descripción del video vas a encontrar un link para Patreon. Patreon es una plataforma que hace posible que la gente que quiere apoyar a creadores de contenido como yo pueda seguir haciendo su trabajo y pueda seguir trayendo material de calidad para las personas que están interesadas. Si decides hacer parte de nuestro proyecto convirtiéndote en uno de nuestros Patreons, vas a tener acceso a entrevistas con expertos completas y subtituladas al español, vas a poder tener acceso preferencial a materiales subtitulados, además vas a poder formular preguntas que vamos a contestar o en los episodios o que van a ser contestadas por expertos directamente. Si hay alguna clase de información de la que quieres que nos informemos para que podamos traerla y hacerla asequible a ti en tu idioma, por favor no dudes en dejarnos saber por medio de nuestra página en Instagram o en los comentarios de los videos, que dependiendo de qué sea vamos a estar muy contentos de ayudarte y vamos a estar muy contentos de empaparnos del tema para poder traerlo y hacerlo asequible para ti en tu idioma. Si no puedes apoyarnos con un aporte mensual en Patreon, nos vas a ayudar muchísimo si te suscribes al canal, activas el botoncito de notificaciones para que no te pierdas ninguno de nuestros futuros episodios y que compartas esta información con quien creas que puede beneficiarse de ella. Vamos a estar muy agradecidos de cualquier forma que puedas ayudar. Quédate en el canal, explora otros temas, no olvides nunca comer entero, no comas cuento y autorregúlate.